Hello, sports fans. Larry Allen here at the KGAS studios, along with Scott Surratt, the head coach and athletic director of the Carthage Bulldogs. Tonight, the Bulldogs start by district play. They start the playoffs against the Liberty Ilo Leopards up at Longbow Stadium in Longview. But first of all, we're going to go back and talk about the Spring Hill game last Friday night, senior night. And, Coach, after the game, you mentioned some goals that you had. Limit Tevin Pipkin's carries. He had 15, no injuries. Less physical game. You were going to stress the passing game. You had 29 pass attempts. And so I think you came out of that meeting all those goals. Talk first of all about your offense.
Well, we did want to go in and throw in the football and get our passing game rhythm. It wasn't great against Gladewater, so we wanted to get a rhythm back and look sharp in that game. And then when you're throwing the ball, it's not as physical in the offensive line or running back or anywhere else. So that was our goal, and I thought we threw it and caught it very well. And I don't know exactly how many yards we threw for. It was over 250 and 2 or 3 touchdowns. I don't know what it was, but anyway, I thought we were pretty sharp early. And, I thought we lost a little focus a little bit after we got way ahead, but overall, I was pleased.
You wanted more intensity, and Spring Hill for the game had 62 yards total offense in the first half when your first team was playing 13 yards. Defense really stepped it up, didn't they?
Defensively, we played very well. We wasn't very happy with how we played in any phase of the game against Gladewater, and we stepped it up in all 3 phases.
Now, 11 penalties in the ball game. I know you had to talk about that this week.
We have. We've addressed them, and there was about 3 stupid penalties, and that was the big deal that we've addressed. The other ones were just playing hard penalties, and if you look back and I did look back at how many penalties we usually get more penalties than our opponent throughout the year, and I think more of it's playing hard. But we don't usually get 3 personal fouls, and I was not very pleased about that. And which one of them was he was playing hard, but it was still not very smart because it was late.
Jimmy Gonzalez, I think, had 3 kickoffs go out of bounds, all to the left. Of course, that may have been the direction you were kicking, and he also missed an extra point to the left. That was in the first half, but in the second half, I noted that his extra points looked like they were right straight down the middle. Obviously, he tends to miss to the left. What's he doing when he does that?
Well, most right-footed kickers are going to pull it to the left if they miss, and just because you turn your hips too quick and you're swinging your leg and coming across the ball, and we talked to him at half and just talked to him. How many have you missed to the right all year? And he said 1. And I said, well, how many you missed to the left? And he said, well, probably 8 or 10. And I said, well, let's go with the percentages. Let's aim further right. And he kicked them right down the middle of the whole second half. And his kickoffs are really good. He just got to get more consistent. We cannot kick the ball out of bounds, but we do have to kick it where we want it, because that's where our kickoff coverage team is relying to put it where we call it.
We were lining up for a punt, and I made the comment that you had made the comment yourself that Major Harris, probably the best snapper you've ever worked with, and sure enough, 10 seconds later, instead of snapping at 13 yards, he snapped at about 21 yards. His first bad snap of the year, that was, just a freak thing, wasn't it?
Well, we haven't even talked about it. He is a great snapper, and we have not mentioned it to him all week, and and I said, it was the only thing I did say, so I'm just glad we got that out of the way, Major, and so he's ready to go, and I don't think you'll see another bad snap.
Had one kickoff return against us that they got to the outside. That's only happened a couple of times this year, thank goodness.
Yeah, our contained guy. And it's tough sometimes when they dip inside and they're looking inside the whole time. Looks like they're going to run inside for sure, and like I said, when they dip inside and then go outside on you. But you got to have the discipline to stay outside, because that's your job. I know we know that they want to make tackles, and we want them to make tackles, but they got to do what's best for the team and stay outside and force them in.
All right, we face the Liberty Ilo Leopards tonight. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think we've played them since you've been here. So that means the last time we met them was at Maverick Stadium, back when either Benny or Coach Bickham were leading us. And they knocked us out of the playoffs that year. Will Middlebrooks, I'll never forget that young man. He was a great pitcher in baseball and a great quarterback and a great punter. But that's the Liberty ILO Leopards of about 7 or 8 years ago. Tell us about the Leopards this year.
Very physical, very fast, very scary. When you get to the stadium early, you'll look down at their team and you'll say, wow. I mean, they look like a college team. They've got big tackles. They've got length. What I mean by length, they're very, very tall and they're rangy. They're got long arms and you know, like I said, they're the fastest overall defense we played all year. There's no question about that. Their D-line's very good. Their linebackers are very good, and they got a safety. It's just a sophomore. It's an incredible athlete, and then they got the best corner by far we played all year in number 5. And offensively, you know, they're huge. Like I said, the huge tackles. They've got a couple good backs, and quarterback sophomore, and the safety and the corner I was talking about is special on defense. They're the 2 wideouts, number 5 and 9, and it's going to be challenging. There's no doubt about it, but we're looking forward to it. And they got a good team. They could easily, I know they're 6-4. They could easily be 9-1, but they could easily beat Gilmer. It was 7-7 with 2.5 or 3.5 minutes to go, and Gilmer had the ball on 4 and went 96 yards and scored to make it 14-7, and then Ellie was trying to tie it, and quarterback got hit in the back, fumbled, and Gilmer picked it up and scored and made it 21-7, and that was with about 30 seconds left. So it was a very tight contest between them and Gilmer, and we know what Gilmer can do, and now Henderson did get after them in their screen game and things and got them down, and it was early. It looked like they were cramping a little bit, and you know, they did get after them. They smoked them pretty good.
What about their formation? Does the quarterback stay under center most of the time or in the shotgun?
He is in the shotgun probably 2 or 3 times a game. That's not where they want to be. They're an under center team. They're offensively run the toss. They run the counter every way you can run it. They'll run the quarterback counter. That means he'll fake the lead one way and the guard and tackle pull the other, and then he'll spin around and he'll run it. And then they run. They don't run a whole lot, to be honest, offensively. That's who they are, and you know, you got to beat them in their game. They're going to grind it at us and see how tough we are up the middle, and then they'll run some toss outside.
So if you were looking at the percentage of plays running versus passing, stronger running, more running than passing, right?
85%, I'd say.
Wow. Okay.
85% probably run.
That's quite a bit.
Well, I know it's run, but I'm guessing 85%, and you know, we got to stop the run game. They do have 2 incredible athletes outside. There's no question. One of them, I think, is a 2-time triple jump champion, state champion. And then he was also the anchor on I think the 800 relay that they won. So he's really good. Number 5, he's a senior, but they'll throw it up to him, and they'll throw it up to number 9, and they can make crazy catches. And we've got to keep them from making the big play in the passing game and stop the run.
You sort of compare those 2, 5 and 9, to Pee Wee and Monster Brown.
5's probably faster. Or is faster and taller.
Wow.
And long. I mean, he's got arms that, I mean, they hang down to the ground, and I mean, he's a really good athlete. And number 9 is probably going to be better than any of the one we just mentioned. He's just sophomore. He's really a super athlete for a sophomore. And he makes about 18, 19 tackles a game, too, because he sits there. He's a free safety, but he's about 7 or 8 yards, and he's humming downfield. So we've got to get Pipkin. If we break their front 6 or their linebacker level, then we've got to get him to miss a time or 2. Number 9, then we can get big runs if we make him miss.
What about their kicking game, Scott?
Kicking game, he's not bad. It's not unbelievable. They don't kick it deep. I don't think he kicks it deep. He'll kick it high in the middle, to the right or the left, and so in the punt team, he doesn't kick it extremely long, and so I think we have some advantages there, and so we've definitely got to take advantage of the kicking game. We got to win in that area.
The way you're talking, one player does both the kicking and the punting. Is that right?
I believe so. Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's talk about the venue. There was a time several years ago where you would not play at Lobo Stadium because of some problems with the turf, but new turf, new lighting, great place to play now, isn't it?
Well, we played there when I was at LK in the mid-'90s, and it was great. It was grass, and it was great. And I think that I didn't play there since, but all the guys that I coached with at Texas High was saying, hey, their turf's messed up, and I knew the assistant soup over there, assistant principal over there, and he said it was some bad spots, and so we just didn't want to get anybody injured and things on a bad field. But now it's great. You know, we played there twice last year. They did it, the same company that did ours did theirs, and then they put new lights up. It's just phenomenal. Now all their facility upgrade with the dressing rooms and everything, he told me was ready this year, and he said you're going to be really pleased with that. So it's even going to be better than it was.
The officials, how are officials chosen for this? Do the coaches agree, okay, we're going to have them out of Dallas, and then if that's the case, who chooses who comes out of Dallas?
Well, usually if you're going to choose one out of the chapter, then you get the secretary of the chapter to rate them. What's the ratings of your officials, and they'll usually, well, this is number 1 crew, this is number 2 crew, this is number 3 crew, and this is number 4 crew. And say, well, we want the number 1 crew, and they'll say, well, he's already gone. Well, give us the number 2 crew. So we usually, if you agree to something, you always usually agree to official that neither one of us have in a different chapter, and then you'll go to the next best crew. Now this week we both use East Texas, and so we're using East Texas again, and we're using Jim Nolan's crew. He's had him once, and I've had him once. We've had him once. Was this past week, and we thought they did a good job, and so we're going to go with them again. We like the pace they ran. They were pretty fast, and I think that's advantage us. We want to get as many snaps as we can.
And they've had him twice.
They've had him once.
They've had him once.
Had him once this year.
Okay.
So one apiece, and we both won with him, and so we'll see what's going on.
What's the and I'm trying to ask you questions that I'm sure some fans are wondering about. What's the protocol on calling on stadiums? I mean, if you were going to, if a coach says a couple of rounds down the road, think I'd like to go back to Lobo again, do you call and try to reserve it 2 weeks down the road, or is that sort of
if you
against?
can get a lock, you can reserve it 2 weeks down the road. And we've had this stadium on Thursday for 2 weeks now, just because we knew when Atlanta got beat by Liberty Ilo, and once that Gilmer beat Henderson, that we were going to be the number 2 seed, and they were going to be the number 1 seed, no matter what happened over there, unless Spring Hill beat us or Mount Vernon beat Liberty Ilo. And so the percentages were that we were going to both beat those teams, and so they let us lock it down. But what you got to have right now is you got to have 4 teams, the previous 4, to lock a stadium down, to agree and lock it down, or they won't let you lock it. They'll let somebody else. They want the first 4 teams, and I will tell you right now, if whoever's fortunate enough to win this week, whether it's us, Liberty Ilo, or North Forney or Wills Point, we're going to play at Rose Stadium next Friday at 7:30 in Tyler.
All right. Now
we all agreed to that,
so. Is it correct? Wills Point and North Forney are not playing till Saturday night. Is that right?
Saturday night at 7:30.
And where is that?
That's in Royce City.
All right. So therefore, a very unusual situation for you. You play Thursday night, so you've got the opportunity, if you elect to do so, to go scout someone Friday night and Saturday night, don't you?
Yeah, I hope I'm scouting. I've got a big weekend planned, because you always got to be prepared. We're going to go out to South Lake Carroll and watch Prosper, and then that Saturday we'll go watch Royce City, and if we get beat, I'm going to stay home and pout.
I'd hate to be Summer.
Yeah, I wish. I won't get into that. She's planning on us winning too. She's got, she's doing a little house shopping, and she's going to actually go out with me. So we got babysitter. So this is a big week. This is a big win for us. Big game for us.
All right, let's talk about the playoffs. In your 5 years here, we're 24-1. in district play, 19-1 in the playoffs. Your first playoff game down at Nacogdoches at Homer Bryce Stadium, beating Bahia something like 56-7, 63-7, somewhere in that range, and then lost your only playoff game to Liberty Hill over at Hamby Stadium in Mesquite, and you've won every one since then. So everyone knows you are a fantastic big game coach. This time of the year really turns you on, doesn't it?
Well, it really does. That's what you play and coach for is the playoffs, and it is the dance, and we're dancing, and the buzz has been really, really crazy this year, and just like every other year, and all the other years in the past, but you can really feel it in the air in practice, and we had to go to the gyms Tuesday, Baker Koontz gyms Tuesday, because they had two, and we went. Offense in one, defense in the other, just because of the thunderstorms and things, and we were rocking the gym. It was really buzzing, and it's my favorite time of year. And when it's your favorite time of year, you want to make it last as long as you possibly can, and the only way you can do that is win. And I don't care how we win. We've told them we don't, just survive and advance. We don't care if it's ugly, as long as we're getting to correct mistakes the following week. We don't care. I don't care if it's 2-0 or 50-49, and just as long as we get to correct mistakes that following week, we could just survive and advance.
Now, you told us last week that the coaches and you would really be stepping up practice this next week, that being this week. Has that happened? I assume it has.
Absolutely. My coaches have got tons of energy. They're great young men, great coaches, and I'm not just saying that. I mean, there's a reason that we've been successful, and it's because you got to have good plans, and then you got to convince your players that they can achieve the plan. Or carry through with the plan and play well and play over their head, and that's part of it. And my coaches do a great job doing it, and we've got to do it again.
I don't often have you comment on just one player, but I want you to talk about Ricky Ingram. Had brain surgery in June, and of all things, less than 3 months, about 2.5 months later, plays high school football. That's just incredible. And, of course, went out with a very unfortunate injury. Tell us about the young man, for those of us who do not know him.
Well, Ricky I've been coaching for 21 years, and Ricky, if he's not the best kid, he's tied for the best kid I've ever coached. And he's just an unbelievable kid. They don't get any better. And, we could talk about anybody. You don't get any better than Ricky Ingram. And he's come through a lot of adversity, obviously, with the brain surgery. And when he went down, it was just, it was a sad deal, just because he's worked his tail off. He deserved everything, and it's one of those deals. Some bad things happen to really great people sometime, and you don't understand it, and it's not our job to understand it. But he's still a team leader, and he's been out to practice, and after he had surgery last Friday, and he's doing great, but he's just a super young man. You got to give credit to his parents. They raised him right, and they're great people, and we miss him on the field. That's for sure. He's still there with us, and he's going to travel with us, and he's going to be there and do everything we do other than play. But he's a superb kid. And then we had another deal this week with our lady that takes care of our field house, Miss Mack, Novice Mack. She fell and broke her hip, and so. We give a shout out to her. She's having surgery actually today, and we just want to tell her we love her and good luck on her surgery and things. It's in Tyler, so she's going to have a hip replacement surgery.
Ricky's surgeon pleased with the result?
Very pleased with everything that went on, and so it's just a rehab process for him. But he'll do very good. He'll be back. He's an overachiever and just a class favorite, overachiever. You can't say enough good things about Ricky. And
as I recall, it was a very freakish type injury. Describe to us how that happened again.
Well, he was just returning a kickoff, and he kind of got hit. It didn't really look like his leg stuck or anything. It kind of reminds me of Blackshear's. When he tore his, it didn't look bad. It doesn't look bad on tape at all. It's not one of those that, you go, whoa, when you see him on TV. It was just, it just looked like a normal play, and he landed on his shoulder. We thought he actually hurt his shoulder, and just tore it. But like I say, he'll battle back. He'll overcome anything, tough things, because he's just a great character young man.
All right, one final thought, Scott, to our fans. Are we ready?
We're ready. We're ready. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a lot of buzz. You're going to see us jumping around and going crazy. And kind of like you saw the Gilmer and Henderson game. You'll see the kids excited, the coaches excited, and we're going to give our best effort. And if we play our best, we feel really good about our chances.
All right, 7:30 is the kickoff, Lobo Stadium. Tonight, Thursday night, against the Liberty Ilo Leopards in the bi-district round of the playoffs. And the winner advances to the game next week against either North Forney or Wills Point. For Coach Surratt, I'm Larry Allen, wishing you a great weekend. So long, everyone.